Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Country Murray here. I'm gonna be harvesting some beet cylinder out of this bed today because they have overstayed their welcome. So I'm getting these out. I'm gonna take you guys down a bit closer and show you what is happening. This bed, it's quite leafy, so it looks like it's packed, which it's not really packed. But most of the things in here, they have overstayed their welcome, as I've said before, and I need to go ahead, remove them now, and start getting some more warm season crop into this bed. So about 6 weeks ago, I had gone and direct sowed some seeds in this bed, and these are what we're getting right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and remove all of them. I think I see a few carrots in here, but I'm not expecting anything from the carrots. But these beets are looking quite healthy. So I'm getting up all of these, and even though I'm saying that they have overstayed their welcome, they have just overstayed their welcome for me. Beets can be in the garden for up to 9 or 10 weeks. They're ready within 5 to 7 weeks, but you can leave them in the garden a bit longer depending on even your climate. So if you're in a subtropical climate, you can push your beets a bit longer in the ground. If you're getting a lot of rainfall and the ground is not drying out properly, they can start rot on you. If it's one of those times when you're getting a lot of rainfall, you need to check on your beet to ensure that they're good. Most of the time when the beets are ready, they come on top of the ground, they expose themselves a bit. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So when the beets are ready, they're something like this most of the time. So they actually tell you when they're ready. They're shooting up on top of the ground. They need to get out. Over here again, see we have one more right there. That's how they should look, coming up on top. This doesn't fully prove that the beet is ready to be harvested. However, it's an indicator that it's time or about time for you to harvest your beet. So now you guys are going to notice whenever I move these beet from the bed, it's going to look like we have a lot of space, which we're going to have a lot of space. I'm going to be making some beetroot juice also. A common thing in our culture to make beetroot juice with carrot. I'm going to be making some of that. And fun fact, beet is one of those vegetables, or beet has the most sugar content of all the vegetables, and it's like a twofold crop. So when you have the beet, especially in Greek culture, they'll eat the leaves, and it can be a two-time harvest. When you have the beet growing, you can harvest the leaves. Just don't take that center leaf, that true leaf, which is not really a true leaf, but that main leaf, because the true leaf is when the plant is really a seedling. When you have that main leaf, you just break away and leave that one to continue, and then the vegetation process will continue. So you will have leaves growing from the side, and the root will also develop for you to get the beet itself. But the leaves can be eaten. I've never tried them before. Maybe I'll go ahead and do some research and see if I can prepare a few of these leaves, or maybe I'll try it for the fall, because these leaves are quite mature. These beets have been here for 6 or 7 weeks thereabout. So I'm gonna see how it goes. If I do, I'll let you guys know. But the leaves can be eaten. I didn't know that. It's just doing some research. I realized that you have cultures that do eat the leaves of the beet. Small space gardening works. This is a 6x4 bed, and you're gonna see the harvest that I'm getting from this 6x4 bed. Not everything did well. For example, this one didn't really get anything, but if we had consumed the leaves in this household, this would have made perfect sense. So I'm not calling it a loss. We have more beet down here, and we have a lot of green onions on this side. So I'm gonna get rid of the beet and allow those green onion, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be planting in this spot. So let's just move over to the other side with the camera and harvest some more beets. I told you guys that this was a 6x4 bed, and we're still getting a lot of beet from this bed. Nothing is on this one, so that will go to the rabbit and chicken. So the leafy area, I'll be feeding them to the rabbit and chicken, but I'm going to do a research because who to tell? Maybe I just try these beet leaves and fall in love with them, so I'll see. I got a radish right here also. This was in the mix, so maybe it was from the last sowing that I did, and that one just didn't come up with that set, so it's a late bloomer, but we're still going with a lot of beet. I'm done harvesting the beets from this bed. This is what it's looking like now. So more space. I was going to say way more space, but not a lot more space, but we have space enough to plant some things for our fall season. I'm not sure what these are. They seem like some form of weed, which I'm getting to realize these days that everything that we're calling weed that we don't want in the garden, there are some form of medicine. So I have to be careful of how I'm getting rid of things also. Here's another beet. This one got split, maybe overwatered or stayed too long in the garden. So I'm going to give this one to the chickens. This is a treat for them. So I'm now going to wash them off, and then I'm going to take the leaf. I'm going to remove the leaves from them. And if you're in Central Florida, the best time for you to plant beets is going to be between October and February. Reason being, beets are more of a cool season crop, cool weather. They can take a bit of heat, but not too much. So you don't want to be planting the beets in a time when the highs are consistently in the high 80s or low or mid 90s. You want to get these in ground when you're getting nights, maybe, because in September, October, they're about in Central Florida. We don't cool down until about end of October, really. Even though they like to say that summer ends the 21st of September, something like that, I don't follow that foolishness. We really start cooling down closer to Halloween time, thereabout, here in Central Florida. So if you're going to go in ground with your beet, go about mid-October, thereabout. You can go early October depending on how the year is going, but to be safe, mid-October, you can go ahead and direct sow your beet. Please don't put your beet in starter containers and then try to transplant them. You may get success starting them in starter containers and transplanting them. However, you're not going to get maximum success when you do that with beets. So it's best if you, or it's advisable if you go ahead and direct sow your beets wherever you are. I'm just talking about starting them, what time you can start them here in Central Florida. If you're in a different zone or a different climate, just look up when you're gonna have your nighttime temperatures consistent in the 50s, low 60s, and daytime temperatures high, maybe be about 78, 80 the most. Then that time is going to be the best time for you to go ahead and direct sow your beet. You can sow it when it's a bit warmer so that it catches that cooler period when it's growing. For it to germinate, it doesn't need that cool climate for it to germinate. So a week or two out in the warmer period, allow it to germinate, then that growth phase, and for it to fruit is gonna need that cooler climate. So that's just it with beets. They're not hard to grow. It's like planting the seed, watering them, and just leaving them alone because these things, I don't even see any insect bite on the leaves or anything, which most of my plants I don't have insect bite on the leaves, but for the beet they repel insects a lot, in my opinion. Don't see the leaves getting a lot of bites. So I'm going to go ahead now and start cleaning up these beets. And if you're in Central Florida, and you're watching this video and thinking about starting your beet now, just hold your horses a bit and wait until the fall months. You can go ahead. You're gonna have a long grow season for beet that time. And guys, these are not true beet. I forgot the exact name of them. I bought them from Baker's Creek, but it's like a cross beet. I'm not sure if it was a beet cross with a radish or something like that, but it's a beet. It's a so-called beet, so it would be like a elephant ear garlic. It's a cross. That would be a cross between a garlic and a leek. These are this is really something like that. So even though I'm saying beet, yes, they are beet, but they are, you know, a beet with something. They're beet mixed with something. I'm gonna have to check my history and see exactly what it was that I ordered from Baker's Creek, but I know they were beet, something of the sort. Before we go, I just want to show you guys the color on some of these beets, and I'm also going to give it a taste test. I just peel it, so I'm going to give it a taste test for you guys. Quite nice. I'll be using these in some juice. This is what I got from that single bed, that small bed, and it wasn't beet alone that was in that bed. I harvested radishes from that bed a few months ago also. Now I have green onions, more amaranth, and also tomatoes in that bed. Lettuce also. I'm going to be removing those lettuce as soon as I'm done with these beets. So just a short one, just a quick one. If you want to start beet in Central Florida or in Florida on a whole, now it's actually April. Today is Tuesday, so tomorrow is going to be the 1st of April. It's a no-no for you to go ahead and start beet by seed now. Well, to go ahead and start beet now in Central Florida or Florida on a whole. Hold off a bit, hold on to your seed, start purchasing your fall seed from now before it comes closer to that time, because that time those seeds are going to be expensive. If you do want to go with beet, wait off until about October. If you're in North Florida, September is quite fine for you guys, but we here in Central Florida and South Florida can go ahead maybe about in November, but for us in Central Florida, I would say October. Remember, it's not gospel, it's just from experience, what I've experienced over the years, planting these things too early or too late. So the sweet spot is going to be about October, thereabout, for you to start beet here in Central Florida. And you can plant all the way up until late January, early February. So if you had gone ahead and started a fall batch of beet back in October, you would have harvested those for Christmas thereabout, because they can stay in ground over time. And if you had gone ahead and did a winter batch like me, you would have been harvesting beets now. So in Central Florida, beets is done. They're out of the ground, or they should be coming out of the ground anytime soon, and we're done with beet. We're moving on to other warm weather crop, and we'll talk about that some more in my next video. So please remember to like, share, hype, and subscribe to the Country Mara YouTube channel as we go along. Happy gardening. See you in the next one, and cheers.